And now it's time for our main event of the evening for the UFC Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. Like over Joe Rogan, what a great night it has been. GSP retains the welterweight title. Now it's time for the heavyweight title fight. Let's go right inside the numbers. Brock Lesnar, the reigning champion, a 5-1 advantage in his total striking, the most accurate ground striker in UFC history, and he's successful with his takedowns 3 out of every 4 attempts. The former UFC heavyweight champion and the present interim champion has defeated him before. Frank Mir, the most wins as a UFC heavyweight with 6 by submission, and most of his fights do not last very long. It is time for our main event of the evening. Mir has never been as confident mentally or physically, and Brock Lesnar is a freak of nature.
Well, Mir has never been as well trained. One of the most important parts about this fight is that Frank Mir has always been a guy who relied on talent alone. He's always been a great jiu-jitsu practitioner who's able to submit opponents, but never really trained like the top elite athletes like George St. Pierre or others. Now he is. We saw him at the weigh-in. He looks in phenomenal condition. It's the best he's ever trained. When I talked to his trainers, he said Frank is renewed. He's been reinvigorated, and a lot of that came from that fight with Brock Lesnar. Beating Brock Lesnar put him back in the game. And Brock Lesnar knows that in order to really be considered heavyweight champion, he has to beat the man that beat him. That said, Brock Lesnar is a freak of nature. He's a gigantic man. I mean, 265 pounds, huge fist, powerful wrestler, and he's an elite athlete. He gets better every single time we see him. We're going to see a better Brock Lesnar than we saw against Randy Couture. We're talking about a guy who only has 4 MMA fights ever. 3 of them are in the UFC, and he's the UFC heavyweight champion. I mean, he's a real freak.
Well, Brock Lesnar, if he hits you, you're probably going down, as we saw with Heath Herring and Randy the Natural Couture. But Frank Mir striking never looked as good as it did against Minotaur Nogueira, and now he's got not 1, not 2, but 3 striking coaches. Longtime coach Ken Hahn, he's got Jimmy Gifford working his boxing, and Mark Delabrati in the corner of Frank Mir as well.
And I've also never seen Frank Mir look so calm and collected and confident at the weigh-ins. He has done all the necessary work, so all the guesswork and worry and doubt, that's not in his mind anymore. Now he knows what he's capable of doing. He knows what he's already done before. He's beaten Brock Lesnar by submission. He has a tremendous advantage psychologically because of that. When he beat him, he wasn't in as good shape as he is now.
Well, Brock Lesnar has been a wrestler his entire life, a spectacular one at that. But Frank Mir has been a true mixed martial artist for the greater part of his life, and that could very well be the difference tonight. Here we go, baby. The wait is finally over.
I won the first fight. It's hard to deny victory. It wasn't like I won a decision. He tapped. He tried uncle. He said, stop. I can't fight no more.
That's a great way to win, because from the moment the fight began, his back was against the wall the whole time. I made a minor mistake. I mean, can this guy get any more luckier? I gave that kneebar to him, and he knows that.
You need to hit harder, Brock. Only losers thinking what ifs and could have been.
Listen, I am the UFC heavyweight champion. Enough said.
Brock Lesnar is the new UFC heavyweight champion of the world.
The other belt that Frank holds is a make-believe belt.
Brock has my belt, and I'm going to go take it from him.
He's going to be moving his fat little hips around the mat, and I'm going to be smothering with lots of fists to the face.
His ground pound's really not. It's annoying because he's a strong guy, but he only lifts his hand too much from your face and drops down real fast. That's like having your little sister jump on your back and pulling your hair.
This guy's got a horseshoe up his ass, and I'll pull that damn thing out and beat him over the head with it.
He needs to be more concerned about what I'm going to do to his arm and not worry about where he's putting it.
I've got zero respect for him. I'm going to win this fight.
Born and raised right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, the present UFC interim heavyweight champion of the world, right here. Man, he looks relaxing.
He looks very relaxed, very confident. You know, one of the things that Brock Lesnar has been saying is that Frank Mir's belt is a made-up belt. Well, you know, a lot of people don't like interim belts, and that is a fact. But the bottom line is, he did one once and Frank Mir won. It was a controversial loss. Only in the back of Steve Mullins got to stop the fight at one point to stand the back up again to take a point away from Brock Lesnar for punching Frank Mir in the back of the head. That said, Frank Mir did submit Brock Lesnar. He got him to tap. That is huge. And he got him to tap, as I said before, at a time he wasn't in nearly as good a shape as he is tonight.
Mark Delabrati. You know what, the thing about Frank Mir, too, which is interesting, Joe, is there's Ken Hahn. Right after he's behind him, he's a long-time jiu-jitsu coach. And right after he beat Minotaur Nogueira, Frank Mir, down the road to the MGM, he turned and he looked at Brock in the stands and he said, you have my belt.
You know, he was soaring right then. I mean, that was the biggest fight of his life, the biggest victory of his life. And one thing you're not seeing right here, but Frank Mir had clashed heads with Forrest Griffin sometime recently in training and had a big hematoma on his forehead. He had to have it lanced. And they're pointing to it right now and they're putting some Vaseline on it. It is possible that could open up if he gets hit it again. But they lanced it so it'll drip down the side of his head and not into his eyes.
Considered for a long time the greatest jiu-jitsu artist amongst the long-time mixed martial arts heavyweights. Nogueira right there as well and many others. But as we showed you graphically, no one as a heavyweight has scored more submission victories inside the octagon than Frank Mir.
And one of the most important things about his submissions, Mike, is he's one of the very best at fighting off of his back. And to find a big man that's capable of fighting off his back like that in training is very, very difficult because there's not that many to do. Big guys are used to being on top. They're used to enforcing a dominant position because they're so big and so heavy in training. And so they don't like being on the back. But Frank, being a very intelligent strategist, realized that the best way for him to fight bigger guys and stronger guys is to fight off his back. If someone puts him on his back, he wants to be well prepared, and he is. He has one of the very best guards in the world.
He's about to face a bigger and a stronger man here tonight in the main event, the champion, Brock Lesnar. Heavyweight champion of the world, Brock Lesnar.
Such an interesting situation with this guy, Mike, considering the fact that he's only had 4 mixed martial arts fights ever, and that he's the UFC heavyweight champion, and that he's a former stick wrestling guy. He's a former, entertainment wrestling guy in WWE. And so many people didn't give him credit for the athletic skills that he possesses because of that, but he is a former national NCAA American champion. He's a serious amateur wrestler. wrestler who had no professional venue to go to before this.
His longtime trainer, Greg Nelson, Mark Morgan, now training with him full-time. He was an assistant coach at the University of Minnesota when Brock won the national championship. He's worked with Eric Olsen. He's trained with Sean Shirk before Sean was taller, but a member of that great team in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Began training in mixed martial arts at just 28 years old, and he looked to retain his title at the expense of Frank Mir here tonight. Our tail of the tape for this, our main event of the evening. Now officially, Brock Lesnar weighed in at 265, but we said before, he's much bigger than that now. Mir weighed in at 245, Lesnar will have a slight reach advantage. For the official introductions of our heavyweight title fight, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, two UFC heavyweight warriors have now entered the world's ultimate proving ground for champions to face each other for the second time in the octagon, as this is the main event of the evening. Lectured by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, with Chairman Bill Brady, Executive Director Keith Kaiser, Commissioners and attendants are Skip Avancino Jr., John Bailey, TJ Day, and Pat Lundvall. Our three judges during this contest are Dr. are Nelson Hamilton, Tony Weeks, and Glenn Trowbridge. Our lead physician is Dr. Al Capana, and when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Herb Dean. And now, the moment of truth UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. From the sold-out Mandalay Bay Event Center in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man was a jiu-jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 12 wins, 3 losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 245 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, ladies and gentlemen, he is a former UFC Heavyweight Champion, presenting the challenger, Frank Mir! And now, introduce the champion, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a wrestler. He holds a professional record of 3 wins with 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 265 pounds. Fighting out of Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the reigning, defending UFC Heavyweight Champion of the world, Brock Lesnar!
All right, gentlemen, we're going over your instructions backstage. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're going to have a clean fight. Let's go over this, make it official.
Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir, UFC heavyweight title fight.
First thing I'm noticing is Frank Mir's left leg is very, very taped up. His knee, all of his knee is taped up. Now, I don't know if that's because he's injured or because he wants friction. If he grabs a hold of something in a guard and he wants Brock Lesnar not be able to slip out.
Brock with the inside leg kick early, Joe, pawing, trying to keep Frank Mir at distance.
Frank Mir looks very calm and collected here. And Brock immediately goes for the takedown. Frank dives down, he's got a hold of the leg.
And he slips to half guard. Joe, we've heard no reports of any trouble with the left knee or the left leg of Frank Mir.
You never know, though.
You never know.
You never know.
Well, and as you know, the way these guys train, rarely do we have a fighter truly 100% when he finally enters the octagon. The one thing you notice here is Lesnar being very patient. He's got Frank Mir down, but he's not swinging away, trying to finish it right away like he did the first time.
Yeah.
Plus, he got caught.
He doesn't want to take any chances. And Frank very relaxed on the bottom.
Let's work. Come on, let's work, Brock.
Now, this is Frank's game. The more Brock falls into this, the more Brock is not ground and pounding and just trying to grapple with him. He runs the risk. You see that hematoma?
Yeah, and a short elbow. And there's a cut on the bridge of the nose of Mir as well.
But as I said, the more Brock grapples with Frank on the ground, the more he runs the risk of being submitted, especially right now when both of them are slippery.
Well, you notice, too, Brock's trying to stay chest on chest. He doesn't want to leave any gap
Good punches by Brock there.
between him and Frank Mir to allow Mir to spin the hips and work a submission.
Yeah, he's controlling Frank's head and punching him in the face, and these are hard punches.
Pushes the arm back. And again, delivers a shot.
Now Frank is protecting his face with his hand, but he's bleeding, Mike.
Brock is firing away. And again, he's got that pressure, Joe, chest on chest.
Yeah, and Brock can generate an incredible amount of power in that short distance. Frank very relaxed on the bottom, though. You see, he's not really trying to fight it off.
Let's work, Brock. Let's work. Brock's pace, very deliberate.
Those punches are very hard.
Championship fight. 5-minute rounds.
Frank just looked over his corner and said, I'm okay.
Brock just teeing away.
Those are got good. Now he realizes he's got to move. These are hurting.
2 minutes. Remains in round 1. That is just a big, powerful dude.
Yeah, he is doing a lot of damage here, Mike. Frank Mir's nose is bleeding.
His cheek is all bruised up.
He just gave his corner the thumbs up, but that's all well and good. But you got those big lunchboxes slamming in your face. That's not a lot of fun. Oh, now he goes to the body and to the face.
90 seconds remains in the round.
All right, now Frank's in a better spot.
Frank looks around, looking for the clock, I would assume. All Brock here in round 1.
The way Brock is holding Frank's neck, he's almost got him like a neck crank. He's holding the armpit and he's pushing the face forward. Frank can't move his head very well.
Brock was going body, face now too, Joe.
All right, this is much better for Frank. His head's free, but now, he's taking some damage.
Well, there's Brock. Now, Brock's got to be careful here, Joe.
Yeah,
when he leaves distance, Frank's going to start to move and look to lock something in. And that may be the best thing he's done here in round 1 is chest on chest. Good hammer fist. Well, this one's lasted much longer than the first one already.
Underhook by Frank. He's going to use that knee to try to stand up, or he's going to go under the right leg of Brock Lesnar. He's running out of time here.
Final seconds of round 1. Hammer fist again. The champion wins round 1.
Deep breath, relax. Slow your mind, Frank. Take it to Montague. Take it to me, Frank.
Stay focused. Stay focused. You're winning the worst. You're winning the worst. Brock is going to try to fire out. All right, doing good, buddy. Doing good. Frank's got a smile on his face, Joe.
He's got a smile on his face, but that face is busted up.
Fight. Round 2.
Frank, and they go to the ground.
Wow, Brock's gonna let him up. 106-5 as a collegiate wrestler.
Good left hook by Mir. Now the knee here.
He climbed with the knee.
Oh, top of a flying knee. I'll let you right in favor.
But now Brock's on top again. Joe, I'm astounded that Brock stood back up. Brock's best game plan is to do exactly this. Not get into a strike fest with Frank Mir.
If he doesn't work here, Herb Dean's gonna stand him up. Herb is warning him right now. Frank is getting beat up here. He's taking some big shots and his face is splattering blood all over his shoulder. Getting the power shots of Brock Lesnar. He's got so much power in those fists, Mike. His face is big. Try to finish it. That's it.
It is all over.
He's out.
Brock Lesnar is the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion.
Wow.
That's not going to win any fans.
That was real. I don't think he cares at all. That was
He said,
real emotion.
he said, talk all the shit you want now.
And here you see this just big, powerful fist come down on Frank Mir's face. Frank is pressed up against the cage, and as soon as he turned over, referee Herb Dean gave him plenty of chances, but he realized that Frank wasn't getting up.
Total domination.
The power of Brock Lesnar in these punches. And again, Frank is stuck there, pinned up against the cage, unable to move.
Brock Lesnar, who grew up on a struggling dairy farm. 15 months since the first fight, avenges his loss to Frank Mir. And tonight he will lead the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, Bruce Buffer, with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean is going to stop this contest at 1 minute 48 seconds of round number 2. Declare the winner by knockout and still the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Brock Lesnar.
All right, I'm going to champ Brock Lesnar. First of all, Brock, congratulations. You got your revenge. Give us your thoughts on the fight.
I love it. Keep going. Keep going. I love it, man.
You were very worked up even after the fight, even after you beat Frank Mir down. You still were upset and you got in his face. Tell us why you're still upset.
Frank Mir had a horseshoe up his ass. I told him that a year ago. I pulled that son of a bitch out and I beat him on the head with it.
All right, now, you don't like promoting fights very much. You don't like talking trash. You just like going there and getting the job done. You did it. You got it done tonight. You've only had 5 MMA fights ever. You've already avenged your 1 loss. Give us your thoughts about your future and what you expect next as a challenge to your title.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to sit down with my friends and family. And hell, I might even get on top of my wife tonight. See y'all later.
Brock Lesnar, ladies and gentlemen.